aboard on this busy afternoon, talk about the world of sports. I went to a high school basketball game last night. I haven't seen Buchanan play too much this year. They're having another rough year. They can't put the ball in the basket the whole 9 yards. A lot of close losses, a lot of sophomores. My kid's got a bad back. He hasn't played all year. Not that he would play on a varsity anyway, probably in 2017-18. But I went last night. Checkitz is there, our pal. He does such a great job with the program. Anyway, I was amazed how much they lost 58-56 to the number one seed in the league, Ridgefield, Connecticut, which is where that Tucker West kid is from, the Luge kid. 58-56. We had a chance to win the game, up 1 with a 1-1 at the line with 40 seconds to go. Missed a free throw, come down, they make a 3, lose by 2. Make a long story short, though, I was shocked. Without any participation with a family member, I was shocked how into the game I was. Shocked. Normally, at those kind of high school events on a bad team near the end of the year, you really have the diehards who are at the game. The grandson, the son. You usually don't have folks who are not involved with the team on a bad team. Team's good. Town gets involved. A little town spirit, they show up, different story. Everybody kind of gets into it. When the team is bad, I have found in the last few years, and we are bad in Buchanan, when the team is bad, normally the average fan never comes. Why waste their time? Going to go out on a cold night, lose by 40. So I understand, and I have been in that mode a little bit this year. I haven't gone to many games for a variety of reasons. Part of all that, I'm not as emotionally involved. But last night, I tell you, I was shocked how into the game I was, which told me something. Maybe I'm a better guy than I thought. That I was that wrapped up in a bunch of kids. A lot of them I don't know. Bunch of kids with the coach who I love, but I was wrapped up in, and I root for him, but that I was so wrapped up in a game, and I was bothered. It took me about 20 minutes to get over it. Bothered it after the game. Bothered. 20 minutes. Because if there's ever a program that needs a win in a worse way against a decent team to build something in a school that is sort of the basketball team stuck in the middle of very good football and very good lacrosse, and we're stuck in that middle, which is a disaster. A lot of high schools, they have one or the other that's good. Torrey's High School, for instance, has great basketball and very good baseball. They are awful in lacrosse. They stink compared to the good schools, and they're awful in football. We're on the other hand. We're good in football, good in lacrosse. We stink in basketball. We're not so good in baseball. Yeah, despite Kirk Casale. So it's a very boy. I was into that game last night. Gosh almighty, was I into that game? And we never ever do we get a break, a call, a ball, and a free. Never. I mean, it's amazing. I've learned in sports. There's reasons why a bad team is a bad team. And a lot of it is self-inflicted, not enough talent, poor coaching, a lot of it's there. But you ever notice that a bad team never gets a call? You ever notice that? You think the Bears got some calls this year? You ever notice the bad team, they never get calls? You think the Browns ever get a call? They never get a call. It's amazing. You think that the Kings get a call, Sacramento, with my buddy Grant? They never get calls, these teams. And, although last night where the referees were fine, I'm not sitting there and saying that, but, you never get that call that could change the course of the game. It's amazing. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. Then I watched Breaking Bad, got more in a bad mood because I saw a bad episode. Bobby in Atlanta, and he's aboard here on Mad Dog Unleashed. Bob, welcome. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
Good, Chris. How you doing, bud?
Fine, Bobby. Thank you. Let me hear now. Fire away.
You're getting me through Atlanta traffic today. Thank you, sir.
All right, there you go. Good to have you. Good to have you in the mix here. Fire away.
I'm an exiled Yankee fan here in Dixieland, and I grew up in Peoria, Illinois. Joe Girardi, a Peoria guy. You just had to kind of feel for him and what went on with the Yankees. But I tell you what, man, I am amped for Aaron Boone. I just, Joe is a little buttoned up, Catholic school guy, Northwestern guy, but it's going to be great to see a young team kind of play maybe just a little bit more relaxed. I mean, I know Joe kind of brought a more regimented style to the Yankees, but I always want to get your thoughts on just kind of how relaxed and how buttoned down this Yankee team might be, and just how fun to watch they might be through the 18 season.
Well, again, they were great last year, and so sometimes you expect great things and good call. So, sometimes you go out there and think that a year after a fun year, a surprising year, where you sort of play over your heads a little bit. You have a right fielder who's phenomenal, a catcher who can hit some million home runs. Sometimes you think that that's going to carry, and then you add another big hitter, sometimes that you think that's going to carry over to the next year, the Yankees are going to be a very trendy pick. And sometimes, Bobby, trendy picks don't work. That's the one thing that would worry me a little bit. Everybody, look, at 94 at the over-unders in Vegas. Everybody is going to love the Yankees this year. Yeah, Torres can't wait. His show will have a little light finally with the Yankees when they start in late March. I mean, everybody out there loves the Yankees, and so sometimes you got to be a little nervous about that. Boone has got some tall shoes to fill. He's got a little more personality than Girardi. You can make an argument that he will be, he knows his way around a microphone. So you can make an argument that Boone will be okay and fun to watch, young manager and everything else. The thing about Boone is I'm not so worried about Boone in April through September. They have enough talent. Unless they just have a bad year and things go wrong. But providing it's pretty normal, they have enough talent, enough pitching, great bullpen, not a great division. Tampa, the Orioles, and Toronto. They'll win enough games to play in the postseason. The issue that would worry you a little bit about Boone is no experience in a big game. Because he has never managed in a big game in his life. And that would worry you because he can't call up Cashman in the fifth inning asking Brian if he should take out a starting pitcher. And he's going to have to do that on his own, and that will concern me a little bit, whether he can navigate a postseason his first try in. Chuck in Pittsburgh, he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Chucky, good afternoon. How are you today?
All right, Chris. It's usually this is a great day for me, pitchers and catchers, but the Pirates have been officially eliminated from the wild card already.
Chuck, that's tough. But I understand. If you're a Pirate fan this year, it's going to be a bit of a rebuild. I understand that, 100%.
We haven't won a playoff series, Chris, since 1979. Almost 40 years since.
Is that true? You haven't won a play. You played against the Cardinals, lots against the Braves. You won a wild card game, but you have not won a playoff series. Good point. Yes.
Not since 1979. We traded away the best pitcher we've had for 20 years. We traded away the best position player we've had in the last 20 years. The owner's swimming in money. The farm system's about barren, and any baseball talk is for a Pirate fan is like a starving man looking into a restaurant with everybody eating prime rib and steak because none of it applies to us. Milwaukee's out there trading for Kane. They're a smaller market than us. They're giving it a shot. We're, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome. They expect you to show up anyway and fall in love with them, but there's just no. We've got you got to be the worst owner in not just baseball but all of sports. It's never ending. I was in high school when we last won a playoff series. And I'm in my 50s now.
I think good call, Chuck. I mean, I feel your pain. I do. I think the biggest issue you'd have with the Pirates, I would not have an issue with Cole and McCutchen. If you trade one, you might as well let the other one go too. I don't think they wanted to trade. I don't think they had any intention whatsoever of re-signing McCutchen. And Cole's up in a couple of years, so I can understand that to a degree. The issue you have with the Pirates is that when that team had a chance to win some series and put themselves in World Series conversation, like the Astros did with Verlander, the Pirates did not do so. When the Pirates were a player away 2 or 3 years, they never went out and got that player. And I think you're right. I'd be frustrated by that if I was a Pirate fan.
Well, yeah, the GM at this year, Huntington, said he had an opportunity to do that, but he was loath to disrupt his farm system. We don't get a chance like this very often, and the guy they didn't want to trade was Tyler Glass now, and he can't throw a strike. I feel like like a Cleveland Browns fan, but I think they have more hope.
Now, they do now because they have the number 1 pick, the 4th pick, and away they go. Pirates is going to take a long time. Plus, they got the behemoth Cubs in the same division. Good call by Chuck. There's no question the Pirates probably were a little too cautious with a chance. A little too cautious. Mike in Yonkers, Mad Dog Unleashed. Mike, your turn. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
What's up, dog? That guy sounds like a Met fan.
Yeah, yes, he does. Good point.
Well, I know how I sound on the phone.
Yeah, well, you sound demoralized 9 times out of 10 when you give us a call. That's for sure. Fire away.
Well, no, I'm not. Actually, I'm not demoralized today. Actually, I'm pretty upbeat because you haven't picked the Mets to win it this year, and that gives me hope.
Last year I did. I thought the Mets would go to the World Series, and against Detroit, one of the worst predictions in the history of the sport. I'll have to come up with something a little bit more imaginative in 2018. But you're right. I thought the Mets would have a big year last year.
One more thing. Walking Dead is the best show on television today. Not Breaking Bad and something Thrones and anything. Walking Dead is the best show on television.
My kids love that show. Good call by Mike. My kids love that show. Oh, my little Patrick loves Walking Dead. Can't get enough of it. Can't get enough of it. There's so many shows. I'll tell you right now about the shows that I've learned, and we've done a little of the show stuff today. The one thing that's tricky, if you try to catch up, and you haven't seen a show and it's in its 3rd, 4th, or in my case with Breaking Bad, long done, it's very, very difficult. I mean, there's 60, 70 episodes you got to watch. I mean, Breaking Bad, if you think about it, they had 7 episodes the first season, and then they had 13, 13, 13, and 13. That's 59. And then the last season, I think they had 20. That's about 80 episodes, 75 episodes. And that's a lot of television. I mean, it's 48 minutes an episode, so you can sit there and watch 2 at once. I don't like binge watching. I try to stay away from that. I want to think about the episode. A lot of people love to sit there and all day. Bill Zimmerman, eating a pumpkin pie and a pepperoni pie, and he sits there all day, and he sits there and he watches TV shows when he has a day off. That's Bill's vacation. Next week is sit on the couch, put his stinky feet up, get a large 32-ounce bottle of Coke, eat an apple pie, and watch 9 hours of television. I can't do that. I'll watch an episode. I might go 2, and then I get off it and I go somewhere else. That's what I do when I try to sit there and get into these shows. Now, last night the Olympics did nothing for me. It's been an issue for me throughout. Nothing for me, so I sat there last night, and at 10 o'clock I watched I'd stayed off the jigsaw puzzle. And did you text? I've done more of that jigsaw puzzle. Ed. Give you something to do. Maybe you can put on Instagram. I stayed off that, and I went to Breaking Bad, and I got into it. So there you go. Mike in L.A., Mad Dog Unleashed. Mike, good afternoon. How are you today, pal? What's going on?
Fred, what's up? I've been here in California. That's why I had the long hold time, man. You almost forgot about me.
Yeah, I didn't forget about you, Mike. I'm glad you're with us here. Let me hear what's on your mind today. Fire away.
Hey, listen. Hey, I got 2 things to go over. First, I got to talk about Tori. Did you hear what he was talking about before you got on the air?
No, I did not hear Steve's show. I usually hear Steve's show. I DVR it.
Well,
and I listen to it. Well, what did Steve happen to do today?
Should have been a fact check. He's talking about the Angels and Ohtani and everything's going to happen. And Steve's line was, well, the Angels haven't made the playoffs in 9 years.
Well, that's not true. He's wrong.
The Angels made the playoffs in 2014.
Oh, he made that era? Steve made that era?
Yes,
wow.
he did.
We have a national talk show host who doesn't know when the last time the Angels made the playoffs were? He thought 2009. He forgot 2014 when they got swept by the Royals in the first round.
It was painful. 2009 they did make it, so he probably just forgot the 2014. But Steve just kind of glossed over it. But don't be too hard on him.
No, Mike, good job. Good call. Anything else you want to add? Or you just want to knock Tori?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the TV show. Listen, Breaking Bad is tremendous all the way through. There's a couple episodes that'll blow you away. Giancarlo Esposito's guts is fantastic.
Yeah, he's good in the show.
Finale is fantastic. It's just incredible. Sopranos, to me, it's like 1-2, those shows. Sopranos is incredible, too. And to me, those shows have a lot in common because you have a great character who has a separate home life and a separate other life.
Now,
right?
I think the issue I would have with Breaking Bad compared to The Sopranos, and he does a good job. Yeah. Cranston's good. Nobody's as good as Gandolfini.
Oh, he's the best.
The bottom line is, Mike, good call. Nobody as good as... I think when you look at these kinds of shows that have long shelf lives, I think you got to look at the main character. I think that's number one. And that's what makes Sopranos so good. Now, you may not love the mafia stuff. You might get sick of that because it's been overdone. But Gandolfini is the best out of them all. I mean, he's the Carol O'Connor of these kind of series. He's that good. Cranston's excellent. He's not Carol O'Connor. The girl, whatever her name is on Homeland, she's good, but she's not...
Claire Danes.
Claire Danes, like her, but she is not, under any circumstances, Carol O'Connor. I don't know who The Walking Dead has. I don't know these other shows that well. I only know 3 or 4 of them. But that, Nucky Thompson was good, Buscemi, but he isn't Gandolfini. That's what sets them apart, Gandolfini. Now, again, you might be a little played out with these series. I mean, how much, we have seen a lot of mob. We've seen it for 100 years with the mob. That was a little more real life, a little bit more, it wasn't Godfather and everything else. It was a little bit more blue-collar mafia, if you can follow my drift. But it was good. Good show. We continue here on Mad Dog and Lee Show. Back right in.